Well, welcome to this round of the Spiritual Growth Forum. I am Jessica Radiance, and I am so honored to help kick off this round of enlightening and motivational contributions from around the globe. So today, we are going to start off with a simple question. And the question is, how does the caterpillar get his wings? For many people, the iconography of a butterfly is one of the highest symbolisms of transformation. Even though when we look at the natural world, we see elements of transformation in many other life forms, from the ways that trees shed leaves to growing them again, to even other insects like flies and beetles. So, what is it about the butterfly that captivates our attention and our interest in transformation so much? One of the reasons that these questions come to mind for me is because I spend a lot of time with nature. And spending time with nature is different than spending time in nature. In our modern society, we are very much engaged with electronics, with convenience, with assembly lines and drop shipping and ready-made items. So when we talk about understanding the overall completeness of an individual and how we optimize our health and our well-being, how we optimize our sense of safety and creativity so that we can flourish in life, it becomes important to understand how we integrate the various parts of ourself. That is why it transcends the physical. It is more than just the mental. It's even more than just the emotional. When we start to combine all these elements of ourself, that is when we really unlock what I call radiant health. Now, why is radiant health such an important thing to consider in your life? Someone who has dealt with chronic illness for over 15 years of my life, I can tell you that the age-old phrase of your health is your wealth is absolutely true. Without our health, we are unable to do so many other things in life. And hopefully your life experience has been such that illness or disease for you has been a mild cold here or there, or it has been a few injuries, maybe some surgeries, maybe it has been a few periods of rebuilding mental health or learning about emotional intelligence. For some people, these journeys and these cycles go on and they repeat and they repeat and they repeat until we get to the point where we look at our life and we have to ask the question, what really needs to change in order for us to flourish? So, back to the question of how the butterfly gets its wings. The butterfly gets its wings by knowing what to let go of. So, those of you who are listening to this talk, you may have heard this before, but comment below about how you think this happens. There are a lot of main conceptions about what happens in the process for the butterfly, but there's a way that I look at it a little differently. And so when we begin to pull these things apart, this is where my genius lies, really being able to analyze and dive into the subtle bodies and really figure out what is at the heart of the issue that is keeping people stuck in cycles of illness and disease. What is preventing them from fully stepping into radiant health and living a life that really means something to them, whether it be quality relationships, whether it be a career that lights your soul on fire, or whether it be traveling and experience all this world has to offer. Because this world in and of itself is a unique experience. And it is up to us, each of us, to decide how we're going to experience it. So if you find yourself looking around at your life and thinking, there's something that just doesn't fit the mark, that's when we really start to step into, what do I get to change? Where is my choice in this? And how do I choose to evolve and transform? And this is the work I help my clients with. So the way, I won't keep us too long from the question, the way that the caterpillar gets its wings is it has to be willing to give up a diet of leaves. So when we look at the plant kingdom, we understand that they are allies, just like the animal kingdom, just like the mineral kingdom. Nature will teach us so much if we stop and take the time to pay attention. The leaf of patchouli provides us with an essential oil that is very grounding. In fact, of all the essential oils that I have worked with, it is the only leaf that actually smells very much like soil itself. This tells us something about the plant. It tells us something about what this oil is going to help us do. Patchouli helps us ground into the present moment. And because it is distilled from the leaf of the plant, what it governs is the mental realm, our mental body. Now, patchouli is one that grounds us into the moment. The other one that I pulled up for us was peppermint. So peppermint is one that more people are widely familiar with, and peppermint is a cooling plant that helps us with alertness. So it's about keeping your calm while change is happening. It helps lower inflammation. It helps process and cool digestion so that you can take in what life is giving you. And again, because it comes from the leaf, we are in the mental realm. So the caterpillar spends its entire time as a caterpillar consuming leaves, which means that it physically has to be designed to chew, bite, and digest leaves. So it is taking in all of this mental energy, right? It is taking in this form of the plant. And after it has pulled in so much of this, then it goes into a period of complete transformation. So the thing that most people have heard about the butterfly is that it turns into a pile of goo and it completely reassembles. So this transformational element is huge because it means that it's not simply about turning a limb into a wing. It is about completely letting go of familiar ways of being, of crawling, of eating leaves. And it is about building a brand new structure that is going to carry you into a completely different realm, a different way of existing. And by the time the butterfly has wings, the butterfly is now eating the nectar of flowers. So with flowers, we are now in the emotional realm. That is what they govern. This deals a lot with the water element, and each flower, just like the leaves that I went over with you, each flower contains a different teaching or a different gift. And when you look and you study into it, you will see that people work with plant medicine in a variety of ways. I myself have found that essential oils, pure quality therapeutic grade essential oils, like the brand I use, are very important for helping us get out of stuck states of being because they are convenient and they bring nature to us. So the scent, the state of scent, is one of the quickest ways to change the biochemistry in our brain. It is a fantastic practice for helping move people out of depressive states, to help them get into meditative states, to help them manage and alter blood pressure levels, to help them connect with breathing. The list goes on and on and on. And because the brand that I use is therapeutic grade and quality, many of the oils are also suitable for ingestion, which means that they can go into baking and cooking, which means that they can be used sublingually. Because when the oils interact with the body internally is different than when they interact with us through our sensory state of smell. But it's important to understand about timing as well, because the butterfly, this process of letting go of an old foundational way of being and maintaining the core essence of who you are while you emerge into this brand new state of existence, being in a different world, in a different realm, engaging with things completely different. I mean, talk about the veil lifting. You go from crawling and standing on a surface to being able to actually lift yourself into the air within the same world. What a completely different worldview. So by the time the caterpillar emerges from the chrysalis as a butterfly, it now can no longer eat leaves. If it tried, it would fail. And that's where it now is moving towards the flowers. So helichrysum, the reason I chose that one is because helichrysum is a very powerful healer. It is known as liquid stitches. And throughout history, that is how it has been used as a topical ointment. Because of its golden hue, it is a flower that resonates with the sun. So it brings in elements of illumination, bringing in an energy of being able to shed light on something that is obscure or something that is unfamiliar. This, as a floral, also has a rather earthy and warm scent. So some florals are very, very perfumey. They're very high up on the scale. Helichrysum, much like patchouli, is very grounding and very calming. So the final thing that happens once we have gone through this process is, because we're all butterflies in the making, my friends. I don't know if you knew that. When we go through these transformational processes in our life and we learn that we're adapting and we have old foundations that we're letting go of and new foundations that we're bringing in, and at the core of it, we keep a piece of ourself, the most important part of ourself. By the end of it, we want to enjoy the fruits of our labor, right? All the shadow work we've done, all the things that we have courageously decided to clear out, even though it was scary, even though it was hard, in order to bring in the best of the best for this current stage of our experience here in this world. So when we talk about the fruit of our labor, the fruit is now dealing with the fire element, change and transformation. Wild orange is a scent that is akin to joy. It is about bliss. It is about the light and the sunniness on a journey. So even though a butterfly doesn't eat the fruit, the fact that a butterfly goes from eating the leaves of a plant to drinking the nectar of a plant means that it is helping in the pollination process, because that flower on a fruit-bearing tree will give way to the fruit. And the butterfly will never experience the beauty of what the fruit offers. In this way, we start to begin to understand a larger ecosystem, a larger understanding of what it means to be one. And because the butterfly helps other people evolve by bringing the fruit into being. So we can take it a step and put it on its side as well and understand that even within the ecosystems of the plant and the butterfly, think about this for a minute. The plant kingdom says, well, I will sacrifice my leaves to feed the butterfly or to feed the caterpillar, so that when the caterpillar is in its next stage of life, it can feed on the flowers and will help me reproduce. So it's a very interesting thing when we go back to understanding the core components of nature and how nature works. When we start to understand these dynamics better, this is when we also start to understand the importance of being responsible for our own healing and doing the hard work, doing the shadow work, doing the things that require that we let go of our comfort zone, that we let go of what is familiar for the sake of evolving into our highest potential. So at this point, you might be thinking, man, this is a lot of information and this is really far reaching, but I kind of like where this is going because it's a different take on how we integrate with the natural world and why we would need to. This is the work that I do with my one-to-one clients, and I also bring in elements of sound healing. I do a lot of challenges. I I really help people learn how to connect with their bodies and understand different ways of being, to really find a way that's going to connect for them so that they can embody radiant health. The clients that I've worked with so far have seen amazing transformations. And repeatedly, the thing I hear is that the work I do is so rapid. They say that sessions with me are more effective than months of therapy. And this is why it's a little confusing because I'm not doing therapy, but we do meet and we talk. So we use the mental realm, we use our words and our thoughts to help shift and change the energy. When my clients are talking with me, I'm listening to what they're saying, but I'm also tapping into what their soul is wanting them to do. A lot of the work I do is with the subtle bodies, and many people need a lot of help moving into understanding how they themselves can connect with their subtle bodies. The use of essential oils is one tool. Sound healing is another tool. These are just a few of the modalities that I use to help them in their transformation. One client, I'll just tell you real quick, one client, when he started working with me, he had overcome he was dealing with some issues of being labeled with a chronic illness just so he could get the medication he needed in order to have some sort of stabilization. And that really messed with his psyche quite a bit because in his heart, he didn't believe that he actually had this illness that they were prescribing to him. But he knew that he needed his energy back. He knew that he needed to stabilize and he knew that he needed to move on with his life. So in the time that we worked together, not only did I help him find his agency again, he was training for marathons, he got a promotion at work, and he is now in a position where he is doing quick turnaround trips cross country, even with a busy work schedule. And all of it is because I have helped him understand the core of who he is and how that connects with what he's doing on a daily basis. Some of this looks like intentionally calling in energy and setting up boundaries. You may be familiar with this practice. What I love about the way that I do things with my clients is we're going to make it unique to you. So the oils that I had him working with, he would come in and he would be like, man, I really love this one. Or I really love using peppermint because when I'm tired, that trick you taught me, he said, of putting it on your thumb and then sticking your thumb to the roof of your mouth, that really does wake you up in an instant. And it doesn't have the drawback of the caffeine crash or the sugar crash because it alerts your body in a different way using different systems. So then by the time he was at the gym, he was able to do his workout and really engage with it in a different way. So the work is all about how do we find the stepping stones, the connection points that are going to help you on your journey get where you want to be. Another client that I can tell you about real quick, when we started working together, she was in a very, very high functioning state of depression and anxiety. because her entire life she had been trained as an engineer. So she had been very secure in her critical mind, in her analytical mind. And she knew what it took to keep everything going at a pace that was going to check the marks. But she found herself slipping into a space of struggling to wash her face, struggling to bathe, struggling to get the laundry done. And there was a part of her that knew, okay, this is not the right way. This is not being fully connected and fully alive, but I'm keeping it together. And she had done therapy in the past and it had gotten her so far. When she started working with me, the difference was she said, Jessica, you have such a compassionate way of connecting concepts that I've already heard before. And you make it so that everything that we're doing is accessible. There's not a single time when I come to you and I say, I haven't been able to do the thing that you recommended because this circumstance came up. You come in and you say, okay, that's what we're facing, so here's what we can try instead. And that gave her the courage to keep going and to try something a little different. And the consistency is more important in the beginning than what you're actually sticking to. So these are some of the ways that the work I do with my clients is a little different than some of the other things you're going to see out there. As I mentioned before, I do work with the subtle bodies, so some of it is energetic, and the essential oils are a big part of it. So I teach my clients how to connect in with their subtle bodies using the help of the plant allies. That is one of the things that is super, super easy to do, because in the case of this client I was just telling you about, the most she could do was keep up with the daily work schedule, but the important things like hygiene were falling on the wayside. So, what's easy is being able to pick up a bottle and put a few drops in a diffuser and have that diffusing in your space while you're going about the day. And the thing is, she is receptive, and she realized very quickly that the oils were helping calm the environment, not only for her, but also for her cat. So we begin to understand that there are very tangible, practical things we can do on our journey, even in moments when we feel like it is impossible. That moment where our caterpillar friend is in the chrysalis, surrounded by hard walls that feel like restraint, turning into a puddle of goo, being like, I don't know what the next step is, help. There is so much that we can do on a subtle, energetic level to help move things in an effective way for you. I also work with energy readings. So you'll notice that the cards for the plants, for the oils, have a lot of symbols on them, connecting with planetary bodies, connecting with the elements, and connecting with celestial events. All of this, everything that I do, ties into your astrology. So we go in and we look at that, and we're able to get a very unique blueprint, a fingerprint of what is going to work more precisely for you specifically than just an overall, well, peppermint helps wake you up and it helps cool you down. There are other plants that can have the same effect, and it's about finding what's going to work for you. So all of this being said and done, what we've come to is an understanding that transformation takes work. And transformation begins, well, meaningful transformation begins when you decide that you want transformation. The secret is that transformation is happening all the time, death and life cycles, whether we want them or not, whether we like them or not. It is a part of this environment. It is a part of this world. And many of us have grown up in cultures or societies or times where the ideals and the standards of what death means is not necessarily revered. It is feared and it is denied and it is numbed. But there is a certain liberty and a certain freedom in understanding that we don't have to carry everything with us our entire life. And that is part of what I help my clients with as well when it comes to learning how to let go of things. So, letting go of things usually is problematic when we have become emotionally attached to them, or we are living on past ideas of what has worked or what has not worked. When we can start to get out of those time spaces mentally and really get into the present moment, grounding into the present moment, that is when we realize the true creative potential and we really tap into the magic within us. That is basically everything that I wanted to share with you guys today. I know I value your time and I want to thank you for spending this time with me. One of the ways that we can keep the conversation going, I have a free Telegram community. They will be running the link here and we'll make sure that it's pinned in the comments of this video. Inside that community, I talk about the different programs I'm offering. I talk about a lot of times when I'm offering discounts or when I'm offering promotions. That's the place where you're going to hear about it first, and they're going to get the deepest discounts before it even goes to the public. If you are interested in working with the essential oils, quality therapeutic grade essential oils for rapid, meaningful transformation, you can connect with me inside of the community group and we can figure out about getting you started. If you have questions, reach out to me. Additionally, I will just put it out here. I am in the process of starting my next community event, and that community event is, experience really, is called the Blooming Heart. And the Blooming Heart is, we're going to go through 12 different chakras. We're going to start at the Earth Star and we're going to end at the Stellar Gateway. Along the series, I have a sound ceremony that is conducted and recorded in nature. Each of them is approximately 20 minutes. Some of them are 30 or 40 minutes. And what this does is not only does it give you the healing sound frequencies, it gives you elemental codes. Because whatever is unfolding in nature while I am recording is a part of the ceremony. It is the contribution from nature herself. So those ceremonies are really great to be used for meditative practices, meditative journeys, learning how to quiet the mind and be connected with the body to understand sensations. But I'm not expecting you to start with all of that. Inside the Blooming Heart, it's going to be most likely a 3-week experience. We will use the sound ceremonies, and we're going to have a dedicated Telegram group, a Telegram temple, basically, where we get to come in and talk about the energetics, and we get to talk about how we're going to connect with our different energy centers in order to physically manifest what we want. So it's going to be a really, really great experience because it's more than just balancing and healing. We're not really concerned with the same thing that everyone else has been doing. What we are after in this experience is blossoming, is blooming, opening up, being committed to holding an open heart no matter what happens in your life. Whether pain or disappointment or setback comes in, we want to be able to maintain that open heart, because that portal is how we receive the greatest abundance. It is how we make the deepest and most genuine connections. It is how we experience the magic of life. So the details for the Blooming Heart will also be inside the community group. That is basically everything I have. We've got the essential oils, which The essential oils, it's not like you just get the oils and you're done. You getting the oils through me also gets you into my Essential Friendships community. So this is a community that is high integrity education, training, and deep dive into the multiple uses of the oils, both from a physical standpoint as well as a metaphysical standpoint. So we have a lot of stuff in that space about the moons, about the solar system and the different cycles that we're going through, the retrogrades, things like that. There are so many ways that you can call on plant allies to help you through life and through the different transits and cycles that we are impacted by as physical beings here on this planet. So that is one way that you can work with me. The other way is one-on-one experiences, and the most upcoming event is going to be the Blooming Heart. All of that is going to be accessible inside of the Telegram community. I look forward to meeting you inside. And if you have questions, drop them in the comments below this video. I will be coming back and I will be engaging. It has been such an honor to spend time with you today. And I will see you for the rest of the talks over this coming 2 weeks. It is going to be so mind-blowing and so fantastic. I am excited for your expansion.